Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers passenger identifications, cell phones, and vehicle searches, and is brought to us by Code 3's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On July 19th, 2023, an officer with the Menominee Falls Police Department initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle that was allegedly traveling 49 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone in Waukesha County, Wisconsin. The encounter that followed was recorded by police body cameras.
You roll the windows down for me.
I did.
Motion 246.
What's going on? Why are you trying to dip out on me?
No,
This
door dashing.
Okay. You're door dashing right here?
Yeah, I swear to God, like this is where you was going.
Can I see the address? You pulled a U-turn real fast and pulled in here. When a cop turns their lights on, you're supposed to pull over right away. You shouldn't be pulling to the back of a parking lot when someone turns their lights on.
No, we understand that, but we was coming here anyway. So it was like, instead of holding up traffic and stopping, we just pull right here.
You should still stop right away, all right? And you're not getting out of the car right now to deliver that, okay? You got an ID on you? You have a Wisconsin license or no?
No.
I stopped because you're going 49 and a 30, just so you know. Okay, you're going 19 over. All right, you guys have IDs on you?
Yeah, I do, but it's in my book bag.
Where is it?
My book bag.
Where's that?
Right here next to me.
You can grab it.
Yeah, hey, she said, why you need an ID if it's a traffic stop?
I'm just asking.
He just asked. He was just asking.
So you don't need to see it?
I'm asking for it.
You asking for it?
Yes.
But I don't have to show it?
As the passenger, you don't have to give it to me, but I'm asking you for it.
The officer explains that the passengers are not required to show their IDs, but that he is still, quote-unquote, asking for them. In the 1979 case of Brown versus Texas, the Supreme Court held that detaining an individual for the purpose of requiring them to identify themselves is a seizure for purposes of the Fourth Amendment, which prohibits officers from conducting unreasonable seizures, and that officers may not demand that individuals identify themselves without reasonable suspicion to believe that they were engaged in criminal conduct. Nonetheless, as the Supreme Court explained in the 2004 case of Hybel versus 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada, quote, "In the ordinary course, a police officer is free to ask a person for identification without implicating the Fourth Amendment. Interrogation relating to one's identity or a request for identification by the police does not by itself constitute a Fourth Amendment seizure." The court also noted in the Hybel case that, now quoting again, the Fourth Amendment itself cannot require a suspect to answer questions, but ultimately concluded that, now quoting again, a state law requiring a suspect to disclose his name in the course of a valid Terry stop is consistent with Fourth Amendment prohibitions against unreasonable searches and seizures. In other words, the court held that while the Fourth Amendment does not impose any obligations on citizens to identify themselves to police officers, states do not violate the Fourth Amendment when they pass so-called stop and identify laws that require individuals to identify themselves when officers have reasonable suspicion to believe that they are involved in criminal conduct. Under Section 968.24 of the Wisconsin statutes, quote, "A law enforcement officer may stop a person in a public place for a reasonable period of time when the officer reasonably suspects that such person is committing, is about to commit, or has committed a crime, and may demand the name and address of the person and an explanation of the person's conduct." However, in the 1995 case of Hennis versus Morrissey, the Supreme Court of Wisconsin determined that this statute did not authorize officers to arrest individuals for refusing to identify themselves, and that citizens who refused orders to identify themselves could not be arrested for violating the state obstruction statute, which we will discuss in further detail later in this episode. Accordingly, while the court would likely agree that the officer did not violate the Fourth Amendment by requesting that the passengers identify themselves, he would not have the authority under Wisconsin law to demand that they provide identification under threat of arrest, even if he had reasonable suspicion to believe that they were engaged in criminal behavior.
You have anything here you shouldn't have?
No, sir. We just
Okay. Because it smells like marijuana. You don't have any? Because it smells like it. You sure don't want to tell me right now?
We don't. It's an ashtray, but I don't think it's anything.
This is your sister's car?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay. You know if anyone smoked in it recently?
No, that was
Yeah, she said she did probably before we used it. That's probably why.
Is that sister on the phone?
Yes.
Okay. All right, why don't you step out for me?
Me?
Yep. Why don't all three of you come out?
You finna search the car?
Leave the phone in there, sir. Step out, leave the phone. Keep your hand out of your pockets.
I'll put my phone in my pocket.
Hey. What's his name?
TJ, listen. He said leave the
TJ.
phone in the Why you got my phone?
Leave the phone in there.
Stop, bro.
Why can't he have his phone?
Leave the phone
Why
in there.
can't he have his phone?
Because I'm telling you, you can't right now.
Is
We're
that a law?
investigating something. Put your phone in there.
Bro,
Put your phone in there. Because I'm going to search the car for marijuana.
Okay, well,
We're investigating something. You're not allowed on the phone.
TJ, you making this?
Put it in there. I'm not going to ask you again.
Please, it's a lawful order.
Put it in there.
Sir,
Put your
he
phone
asked
in
you to
there.
put the phone down.
I don't care. Get it off
I'm
me.
not going to ask you again. Turn around. Turn around.
Not my.
Stop resisting right now. I'm going to tase
No
you.
reason.
I will tase you if you don't stop.
Like, sis, hey, can't we record? Ain't that our right to record? Hey, ain't that our right to record?
Step in front of the car. Don't move and face the car. You're under arrest for obstruction, just so you know.
Bro, what?
Obstruction.
Obstruction.
Back of the car.
When one of the passengers refuses the officer's orders to leave his phone inside the vehicle for the search, they place him under arrest for obstruction. Under Section 946.41 of the Wisconsin statutes, quote, whoever knowingly obstructs an officer while such officer is doing any act in an official capacity and with lawful authority is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor. As the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Wisconsin explained in the 2021 case of Stabenow versus City of Eau Claire, the failure to comply with an officer's lawful order can provide an officer with probable cause to make an arrest under the Wisconsin obstruction statute. However, whether the order to leave the phone in the vehicle was a lawful one is far from indisputable under these circumstances. Although there is not an abundance of case law on the issue, some courts have concluded that officers may prevent individuals from making calls on their cell phones during investigatory stops. For instance, in the 2016 case of Pike versus Foster, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, which, like Wisconsin, is in the Seventh Circuit, held that an officer did not violate the Fourth Amendment by taking an individual's cell phone during an investigatory stop, and noted as part of the reasoning for that decision that the officer would have been allowed to prevent him from using his phone during the detention. Similarly, in the 2014 case of State versus Johnson, the Seventh District Court of Appeals of Ohio determined that disregarding an officer's instructions to stop talking on a cell phone during a traffic stop constituted obstructing due to the safety risks that active phone calls during traffic stops can pose to officers if third parties are able to locate the officers and intervene in the encounter. However, as the passenger pointed out as he was being arrested, the Seventh Circuit established in the 2012 case of ACLU versus Alvarez that the First Amendment broadly protects the right to record public police activity. In reaching this conclusion, the court recognized that, quote, audio and audiovisual recording are uniquely reliable and powerful methods of preserving and disseminating news and information about events that occur in public. Their self-authenticating character makes it highly unlikely that other methods would be considered reasonably adequate substitutes. In this situation, it is unclear if the passenger was attempting to film the encounter with his phone, make a phone call, or simply hold his phone, but if he was attempting to film, he could potentially argue that the officers violated his First Amendment rights by refusing to allow him to do so. It should also be noted that a summary of notable incidents in July 2023 published on the Menominee Falls Police Department's website makes no mention of the passenger's refusal to leave his cell phone in the vehicle when describing the arrest. Rather, it simply states that, now quoting, at one point, one of the occupants, suspect 1, walked back to the vehicle, causing officers to direct him from the vehicle. Suspect 1 attempted to pull away, and then resisted the officer's attempt to handcuff him. Suspect 1 was eventually handcuffed for resisting obstructing. Given the lack of relevant case law on the subject, it is difficult to determine how a court might view the lawfulness of ordering a citizen to leave their phone behind.
Hey, we good. Hey, listen to me. No, can I just explain to you guys? We got the body cams going, okay?
What does that got to do with him not being able to have his phone?
As part of the
Answer
investigation.
the question. He can have his phone, right?
Not while we're doing an investigation.
That shit, it's not an investigation. Y'all pulled us over. It's a traffic stop.
I didn't pull you over.
The police officer just tried to take his phone for no reason. That's not a law. That's not. It was a traffic stop. Now they talking about an investigation.
The car reeks of weed.
He said the person who didn't pull us over said the car reeks of weed. Now they having another police officer come and another one. It's four trucks.
What is he doing? Wait, what he doing? Where he going?
Hey, hold on.
Hey.
What y'all doing?
He's under arrest. I heard obstructing.
Okay.
What is?
I
Okay,
stopped
look.
my traffic stop, so just wait a minute.
Okay, look, it's your traffic stop, so can I talk to you? Why is he getting arrested?
Why is there so many people here? It's just 3 of us.
Come here.
What's going on?
We good.
Hold on,
Talk to you. Look, we don't gotta put it down.
Wait,
We don't gotta
wait,
put
but
it
you
down.
answer
We don't
like-
gotta put it down. Look,
Wait, just let him
Now,
talk.
why is he being arrested?
Do you want me to explain to you what's
why is
going
he-
on? Take him to,
Hold on,
take
hold
him
on.
to the side and hang on him over there.
Whoa,
Come with me. I will
where I'm
talk to
going?
you.
Be good.
Come with me.
Just-
I will
just-
talk to you.
okay, talk
Who's
to
on
me.
the phone with you?
I don't have to tell you that.
Why are you being like this?
Because it's my right. You came over here and you arrested him for having his phone. Why is he in the back of your
I
car?
pulled you guys over.
Why is he in the back of your car? That's
do
what
you
I'm
want
asking.
me to explain or no?
Answer my
'Cause
question.
You're just talking over
Answer
me.
my question.
Okay, I'm not talking about this.
He said he smelled weed. That had nothing to do with our phone. You could have each and every one of our phones.
Ian, copy 27,
You took the
29.
phone from him. He ain't taking the phone from me. Hey, you need a warrant to search my bag. I wasn't driving.
What's your last name?
Wow.
Because you're inside the vehicle and this is an investigation.
Take me in and get my name.
You don't want to give us your name?
No.
But you were still inside the car.
Okay.
And now this is an investigation and we identify everybody. You're not going to give us your name?
You don't need it.
We do need it.
For what?
Our investigation.
It's not an investigation. It's a traffic stop.
Nope.
Who's
You
this
know it's
belong
mine.
to?
You know it's mine. You know it's mine. It's my bag. You know it's mine.
This wasn't in the bag. Is this yours?
Yes. How many times I gotta tell you, bro?
Okay. You stand up for me.
Been heard. It could have been heard.
Over here.
No, wait, that's been heard.
Bro. Get up.
Set it down.
I'm gonna give it to him. Here, bro. He grab it.
Stuff is yours.
Here.
Hey, why is y'all-
AJ.
why is y'all grabbing?
Bro, grab my phone.
As the officers are searching the vehicle, one of the passengers argues that the officers need a warrant to search his bag because he was not driving the vehicle. Later, the passenger admits ownership of a marijuana product found in the vehicle and he is placed under arrest. Although the officer claims that the marijuana was not found inside the passenger's backpack, the passenger seemed to believe that it was in his bag. And the summary of the arrest posted on the police department's website stated that, and I'm quoting, another occupant admitted ownership to a backpack that was found to have marijuana in it, making it appear that the officers searched the backpack without a warrant. However, it is highly likely that a court would conclude that such a search did not violate the Fourth Amendment. In the 1925 case of Carroll versus United States, the Supreme Court recognized the so-called automobile exception to the warrant requirement of the Fourth Amendment, authorizing a vehicle to be searched without a warrant if there is probable cause to believe the car contains contraband or evidence. Likewise, in the 1982 case of United States versus Ross, the Supreme Court held that, quote, if probable cause justifies the search of a lawfully stopped vehicle, it justifies the search of every part of the vehicle and its contents that may conceal the object of the search, including closed containers and packages. There is no limitation on this rule based on the ownership of specific items inside of the vehicle. And as the Supreme Court explained in the Ross case, now quoting, the scope of a warrantless search of an automobile thus is not defined by the nature of the container in which the contraband is secreted. Rather, it is defined by the object of the search and the places in which there is probable cause to believe that it may be found. Just as probable cause to believe that a stolen lawnmower may be found in a garage will not support a warrant to search an upstairs bedroom, probable cause to believe that undocumented aliens are being transported in a van will not justify a warrantless search of a suitcase. In the 2008 case of U.S. versus Mosby, the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals determined that the smell of marijuana alone, now quoting, was enough to give rise to probable cause to search the entire vehicle, including closed containers like the garbage bag. Accordingly, a court would almost certainly conclude that the officers had probable cause to search inside the passenger's bag for marijuana, which could easily be contained inside a backpack based on the odor of marijuana they alleged was emanating from the vehicle.
AJ, just shut the up and grab my phone. I'm gonna grab it. Stay right there. You don't have to say,
Just pick the stuff up on the grass.
bro, don't touch my phone. Bro. Hey, what the is wrong with y'all? Stop resisting.
Tell me why y'all owe me right now. Tell me why y'all owe me right. You got your knee in my back, bro. I can't even breathe, bro. Like, what the fuck?
You on the side.
You doing? Get off me. You got your knee all in my back.
Stop
Break
resisting.
my wrist, bro. He's trying to break my wrist. Why is you grabbing on me like that, bro? I can stand up on my own. Let go of me, bro. Bro, you just said stand up. Why is y'all on me like this? Can y'all explain why y'all on me like this? Like, I'm not even doing this. I haven't did nothing this whole time. Why he had me on the ground like, ain't you that boss? Well, what I do?
Take a seat.
What did I do?
Take a seat.
But like, how am I expressing when I've been standing there the whole time?
Only limited information is available about this encounter. In the Menominee Falls Police Department's so-called Notable Incidents report for the month of July 2023, the department explained that the first passenger was arrested for resisting obstructing, the second passenger was arrested for possession of drugs, and the driver of the vehicle was arrested for allegedly attempting to interfere with the second passenger's arrest. The summary stated that the DoorDashers were arrested and booked on quote-unquote various charges, and that all 3 posted bond and were released from the scene. As of the date of writing this episode, I could not locate any court records showing that criminal charges have been filed against any of the DoorDashers, and a search of the Wisconsin Circuit Court Access Case Search did not identify any cases initiated by the Menomonee Falls Police Department for offenses occurring on July 19, 2023. Overall, the Menomonee Falls officers get a C- because although they were potentially within their authority to make these arrests, it is also possible that the arrest of the first passenger violated the First Amendment, and the officers maintained a hostile and inflexible demeanor throughout the encounter. For instance, it is unclear why the officers were so insistent that the passenger leave his cell phone inside the vehicle for the search, as it certainly could not contain the marijuana they were looking for. And if the officers were genuinely concerned about safety issues, they could have prohibited phone calls while still allowing the passenger to have his phone and record the encounter. Instead, the officers chose to bark seemingly arbitrary orders at the passenger to leave his phone in the vehicle, and then unnecessarily arrest him when he did not comply. There are also several concerning inconsistencies between the reporting of the arrests, such as the reason for the first passenger's arrest and where the marijuana was found, which indicate either intentional deception or ineptitude on the part of the officers involved, and call into question the reliability of all the other information contained in the summary. As to the driver's arrest, I cannot evaluate its lawfulness based on the limited nature of the available footage, but the other misinformation contained in the notable incident summary certainly gives me doubts about the validity of the driver's so-called interference. The DoorDashers get a C for maintaining defiant demeanors throughout the encounter, failing to exercise the right to remain silent, and potentially refusing to comply with lawful orders, as it is certainly possible that a court could conclude the officers had the authority to order the passenger to leave his cell phone in the vehicle for the search. Now, while I commend the DoorDashers for attempting to assert their constitutional rights, I would encourage them to take some time to ensure that they are fully and accurately informed about the applicable legal issues, as they seem to have several misconceptions about the limitations on officers' constitutional authority. I would also urge the DoorDashers to remember that they should always exercise their right to remain silent, as the passenger who admitted to ownership of the marijuana in particular failed to do. This encounter serves as an important reminder that when courts have not conclusively established or recognized a certain constitutional right, such as the potential right of an individual to keep a cell phone in their possession, the safest course of action is typically for an individual to simply comply with a questionable police order if they want to avoid a potential criminal record. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel for even more police interaction content.